Okay, we're getting started here. Good. All right, we're ready for our China weekly marketing news here. It's Tait from Nanjing Marketing Group, and I have here with me Echo. Echo's
Hi.
not from, she's not from Nanjing Marketing Group, but she's from Sinotrip, which is another business of mine that I started a long time ago. And Sinotrip helps travelers from around the world meet tour guides. I don't manage that business now. Echo manages it. She knows a lot about travel in China and many other things too. So she's joining me here today. It's going to be the same format as usual. I'm going to be reading some news to her. She's going to be reading some news to me. It's the news that I have sorted through that I think is relevant to people that are marketing in China. News about Chinese technology, culture, and marketing. We're going to talk about WeChat Kids mode. We're going to talk about a strange immersive art display, Zhihu setup. We're going to talk about Luosafen again, and we're going to talk a bit about travel and some other things too. So let's get started here. This first article that I have here is about WeChat for kids, or as I would call it, WeChat Kids mode. Now, what the article from SupChina here says is it says the special mode, which was unveiled on October 2nd with a limited rollout on iOS, allows parents to turn off a series of features deemed potentially harmful to underage users' safety, including Shake, which connects users with strangers around the world and people nearby, which lets users chat with people who are located near them. Parents can also limit their children's access to certain public WeChat accounts, minigames, and video libraries. Okay, I thought this is kind of funny because why do kids need WeChat? Really? I don't feel like my kids would need WeChat. But a lot of kids in China, I think they would use WeChat for school because they need to receive some information from their teachers, or their parents need to monitor their access for school too. So I guess they're using it. It shouldn't really change things a whole lot from a marketing point of view, except that, I mean, there are kids that are on there, and I wonder if they're going to be watching accounts on WeChat as well.
I don't think so either.
You don't think they will?
No, I think they just talk with their friends and sometimes they share news in the chat group with other parents, and that's why they use it.
Yeah. So in Canada here, from my personal experience, I know that if my kids ever want to buy something in a store and I ask them why they want that certain toy, it's almost always the same answer. And they'll say, because I saw it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Right? YouTube is the big one here, I believe. I don't know that kids in China are watching a whole lot of digital content, usually. They're definitely not watching YouTube.
They watch Youku.
They watch
They use
Youku, you think?
Yeah, I think most
Yeah.
of my friends' kids that use Youku to watch cartoons. Mm.
Okay. Well, kids are going to be using WeChat anyways, and they're going to be using a bit of a pared down version of it. Let's look at the next one here. This article is about unfavorable views of China. It's from Pew Research Center. And it provides some charts here showing how people from different countries' views of China have changed over the past few years, actually from 2002 until 2020. And what's happened in the recent year is that the negative or unfavorable views of China have just skyrocketed up for most of these countries that they're looking at. And those countries are Australia, UK, Germany, Netherlands, Sweden, US, South Korea, Spain, France, Italy, Japan, and Canada. One exception there on these charts is that Italy's opinion of China didn't change a whole lot recently. But all these other countries, they are really having quite a negative view of China nowadays. I see that in our work and business, because I feel like sometimes when I'm talking to people that are not doing business in China yet, that nowadays I have to not only persuade them that China would be a good place to do business, but also persuade them that they think China is a good place to do business economically, but I also have to persuade them that it is morally okay to do business in China.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And any of these brands that are doing business in China and they're producing things in China, they can look at these numbers and they can expect that their consumers might also have a problem with China, or they might be looking at it more carefully to see where things are produced, or figure out, if they want to buy the products of companies that do a lot of business in China. There's just a lot of tension there generally.
Yeah. I feel the same because sometimes Sinotrip has business travelers, and they will hire interpreters from Sinotrip to help them to understand what their partners' factories in China. Sometimes they will ask the interpreter to translate everything because I think there's some trust issues, and then they want to make sure where exact the products are made, and then are they taking me to their own factories, those kind of questions. They need a third party to help them to observe. I think that's the
Yep.
word.
Yeah. They've usually needed that help though. But you mean that you think that they're more suspicious of what's going on within China right now?
Yes, I think so. And especially with this situation that people cannot come into China, they usually will hire a third agent to check for them if they have products here. Do a
Yeah.
QC or a visiting, something like that.
Right. Yeah. But while I look at these metrics and I get the sense that people in general might have some negative views in China or might be suspicious of China, usually the people that contact us are not, because the people that contact Nanjing Marketing Group, they want to do business in China. That's why they contact a marketing agency.
Yeah,
Right?
I think that's why they need a fair agents to help them, to understand.
All right, let's move on to the
Also, I
next one
think,
here.
yeah, the Italy didn't change it was because during the pandemic, China sent a medical team to them. So I think that's why.
Yes. Yeah. They have that pandemic connection there.
Yeah.
Okay, next one here is about industrial robots. And this article here from ifr.org, what it shows is that China has been installing the most industrial robots in their factories by far. So China has installed 140,000 industrial robots in 2019, and the next closest one was Japan with 50,000, and then United States with 33,000, and the rest just trailed down from there. This is part of a general trend of China improving their manufacturing, improving their technology. They don't just want to be the place that does cheap manufacturing. They want to be the place that does it effectively and efficiently. And they're buying technology from all over the place to do it. The article says that in China, the broad majority of 71%, so this is grammar's a bit weird. They say 71% of new robots was shipped in from foreign suppliers. So while China is using these robots, they're buying them from abroad. They're buying the technology from abroad. I think they're also buying the other types of technology too. They're buying the software, they're buying the services, anything to help give them an edge.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember that when I came back from New Zealand, I worked in one of the robotic factory, the company. I helped them because they are buying techniques from Canada. So I helped them with the translation. So exactly what this article about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it goes against what I see in the general media a lot of the time, because usually the media that's not focused on China business, or it's not really digging into China deeply, just the media that the average layman sees in Canada or USA, they're talking about cheap stuff from China, and they make it seem like China is just doing everything very cheaply. They're just doing everything in a way that is polluting and breaking all the rules, and that is why they have an advantage. But Chinese businesses aren't doing it that way. Chinese businesses are just they're just moving ahead and getting any advantages
Yes,
they can.
that's exactly, yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the next one here. So this article here, I haven't read this yet. This is the one that you showed me, Echo. It's something to do with travel in China. So how about you tell me about that one?
Yeah, sure. First of all, I read some numbers this morning about because we just had this 8 days national holiday week, and then during this week, there are 466 billion people when travel, people times, and then this is like I think 70% of recovery compared to last year, and then there are some differences compared to last year too. The hotel reservation increased 40%. The inland hotel reservation, because if you are going abroad for travel, when you are coming back, you are facing a 28 days quarantine. So people are not taking that risk. Most of the people.
28 days?
Yeah, 28 days.
That's the
I will
longest
tell you
quarantine
that.
I heard about.
Yeah, I will tell you that one later. And during this reservation, the luxury hotel reservation increased 100% because I think people really need some relax after this
The
COVID-19 things.
which hotel? What?
Luxury hotels increased 100%
Oh, luxury. Okay.
reservation. Yeah, and then people who travel and the people who went travel, most 30% are people who are under 25 ages. And I think because seniors and old people, they are more conservative about going out because they think this is not over yet.
Okay. Hold on. Slow down a bit. So that was you said that how many of them were younger, and what was the age?
25 years old. Yeah,
Okay.
19 after 1905.
Okay. So you said most of them are 25 years old?
Yeah,
Okay.
because they have the long holiday. Most of them are school students, university students, and then they have been quarantined in school for a long time. So I think they need
Yeah.
a leave. Yeah, and also they are more fearless.
Okay. Okay.
Older people will care about get infected or something
And
like
is this
that.
for travel outside of China or inside or both?
Inside of China, I think
Right.
99% of the travel happens in China during the national holiday.
Right.
And that's why the hotel reservation increased, because lots of people choose to go abroad in past years. And also there are some changes. For example, most popular attractions are national park, zoo, and botanic park. This kind of natural scenic areas. But usually it could be the amuse park, because Chinese parents don't have much of time to be with their kids. They don't have because China, we don't have the summer holiday. So National Day holiday is really one of the longest holiday in China. This is the time the parents choose to be with their parents, with their kids. But now we can see amuse park is not as popular as before,
Okay.
too
Well,
crowded.
are parents in China, are they scared about their kids catching coronavirus?
Yes, that's why they take them to open air, national park,
Yeah.
zoo, and botanic garden.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Okay.
yeah, and also you need to book online if you want to go some popular attraction, because they are limited the person coming in per hour.
Right.
Yeah, and this will lead us to another subject is about quarantine. Um, I think the policy just changed 3 weeks ago. Now you are facing a 28 days quarantine if you are coming to China from other countries. Um,
Okay, hold on. Okay, so 28 days quarantine. That's
yeah,
for traveling into China.
yes.
I thought it was 14 days before.
Yeah, it just changed 3 weeks ago
Oh boy.
because 3 weeks ago there are a guy who coming to China and then he already been quarantined for 14 days, and his COVID-19 test shows he's positive again after he came into China 29 days. So people think this is the chance of getting infected is longer. So they add another 14 days. But it's different. The first 14 days you need to quarantine in their named hotel. And
Okay.
and then the second 14 days you can quarantine in your own home. And then in every community there is a team in charge of this whole area's quarantine, and then they will check on you every day to make sure that you get if you have fever or if
Yeah.
you are in a good condition that you are not infected. But
Right.
if you are coming to China, I recently just came back from to China from Europe, so I have a little bit quarantine experience about the procedures to share with you. So in case that you are coming to China,
Yeah.
so first of all, you need to check, because if you are flying from some specific countries, you need to get a COVID-19 negative certificate before you get on board, 3 days before you get on board. And then you can check this list on Chinese embassy website. And then
Okay.
I just checked it, and the list has 159 countries now.
Okay.
So probably your country is in it. And then when you get on board, there are two things you need to show to the airlines. First is the COVID negative certificate reports, and the other one is you need to fill in a form to report your healthy situation. Those you can do in when you are getting aboard. So if you are flying to Shanghai, Beijing, Guangzhou, you will get quarantine in where you landed. And if you are going to Jiangsu province, Zhejiang province, and Anhui province, you can, and if you are landed in Shanghai and you're going to those three provinces, you can get 3 days quarantine in Shanghai. And if your test is negative, you can get another 11 quarantines in your hometown.
Right. Okay. So this is very restrictive. I think that we're not seeing much business for Sinotrip, for tour guides, and for business assistants that are showing people around factories in China now, right? And I mean, we're seeing basically zero business for them.
The thing is that usually there are lots of business people traveling to China, and it's kind of easy to get a business visa if
Yeah.
you want to come into China. But now it's very difficult. There are only 3 types of people who can come into China now. Okay, of course, if you are Chinese, you can come back. And then if you have a long stay residence permit, which is issued before the pandemic, and also if you have a special necessary reason that you need to come into China, and
Yeah.
then you don't get to define, you have to write to the embassy to ask if my reason is necessary, and then they will give you a proof, then you apply for a visa. So now we usually have lots of clients who use Sinotrip to find their translator and their sourcing and their local helps
Yeah.
in especially Guangdong and Zhejiang province. But now as we know that these things they are not coming. But they are hiring some agent with us to help them to do the factory visiting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So they aren't going to China themselves, but they're still through Sinotrip. They're getting some agents to help them check out the factories and such.
Yes.
Right.
For example,
Okay.
when we have a client who has a producing line here, and he cannot come, so he hire one of our interpreter and his QC to
Yeah.
check with him. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, something that I find interesting is that the Chinese government, they want people to have a certificate that they do
Yes.
not have COVID, and then once the people get into China, they still want those people who do not have COVID to go into quarantine.
Yeah.
It's pretty intense. It's a lot different than here. Like here in Canada, it's their approach is to limit the amount of COVID infections, but they're not trying to completely eliminate it. So if if COVID breaks out in a certain company or location or a school, then they'll close it down temporarily in case other people have COVID and try to basically do very small temporary lockdowns, you could call it. It's not even a lockdown really. It's just that's their approach. It's worked pretty well for Canada, I think.
Yeah, I took 5 times test. The first month I came back to China, so they just because I think they have experience now, so they just test as many as they can, and then they do that very fast, and they set up all these test points in every community.
Yeah.
And once there is a person find who are infected, they're gonna test everyone who get in touch with him, and in that area too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they think that's more safe,
Yeah. Yeah. I
more
get it.
guaranteed, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to talk about here with the travel situation with China?
I think now also there are some foreigners who live in China. Because I asked some of our tour guides if they have business coming because most of their clients are foreigners. They told me some foreigners who are living in China, they just travel in China too. So, yeah, actually,
Okay.
people here just traveling in China.
So there's a lot of people traveling within China, and that includes Chinese people traveling in China, but also the foreigners that are already living in China. Yeah. Okay. That's
because
cool.
once they leave China, it's very hard to coming back, so they choose to stay here. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
All
and
right,
that's so much for today. Yeah.
Let's move on to the next item here. Maybe you'll like this one. This is something unusual I saw. There's this art exhibition going on in Beijing that's created by Baidu and a company called UCCA Lab and a company called Moment Factory. And what they're doing is they're using humans and AI to create interactive art displays.
Yeah, UCC is one of the most popular museum in Beijing, art museum.
Okay, you are familiar with these type of things, these artistic type of things in China, are you?
Yeah.
See, I think this is really cool to look at, and there's some videos here as well about it. Oh, well, I'll leave the link for people so they can see it for themselves too, in case they're just listening. But when I look at these exhibitions of people interacting with color and art that's splashed all over the walls, and they can move with it. I'm not an artistic guy. I don't go to art exhibits or anything. I just think this looks like it would be really cool for a club, like a nightclub or an electronic music event, to have this kind of interactive material within it, because the AI could work with the colors and people and music to make it much more interactive, and it could just be amazing. Anyways, if I could go to Beijing and go see this event too, then I'd want to go check it out.
It's a good idea. It could be used in club.
Well, let's not talk too much about this one. I'll leave a link so people can see the videos here too. All right. So Zhihu business account verification, and just in general, Zhihu account setup and verification. We looked into this in a lot of detail, and we created, I think, what is the most detailed English language guide about this on the internet right now, because we use Zhihu a lot for B2B marketing in China. We use it for B2B and education. It's really good for anything where consumers are looking deeply into something that they might purchase. They're doing their research because they go onto Zhihu and they find really authoritative answers to questions. What we found is that Zhihu accounts can be set up for personal accounts or for business accounts, and it's best to set up a business account if you can, because it will give you more access, right? It'll give you more abilities to do marketing on Zhihu than just a personal account would. A business account gives you access to data analysis. You can advertise. You can get better priority on search results. You can post more articles and answers and all that stuff. So
And also make you more trustworthy. If
yes,
yeah,
right. Yeah, and make you more trustworthy, because if you have a business account and you have that verification check mark and such, then people
yeah,
know it's actual business, it's the actual brand. Um, if people take the route of setting up a personal account, it could also make you look trustworthy, but it verifies you as a person, as an individual on Zhihu, which is a little bit different. And then you don't get those business perks that are on there. But for listeners that are thinking about B2B marketing or other type of marketing where you have to persuade people to go through, we have to persuade people to buy a complex service or product. That is different than just persuading them to buy socks on an e-commerce site. Zhihu is a great place to do that, and we have this really great long guide for them to check and get the information they need for a setup.
mm-hmm.
Okay, one more thing here. So this is an article from Sup China. It's about luosafen. And we talked about luosafen recently.
Yeah, I thought you talk about that.
Yeah, but we need to talk about it again because my wife Pearl, she made this dish last night, and like the first thing I noticed was the whole house was just it smelled really strong and kind of stinky, but kind of had an interesting smell to it too, right?
Yeah,
It's like,
good
oh,
thinking.
I don't know if this is a bad smell or a good smell. It's just I have to look into this, right? And luosafen is snail rice noodles. The article here says luosafen, or river snail rice noodles, hails from the city of Liuzhou, where it has been served from street side stalls as an affordable snack since the 1970s. That's a long time, 1970s, but it's just becoming super hot last year and this year, right?
Yeah, because it's like instant noodle.
Yeah, okay. It says the unique dish, known for its pungent aroma, is made from simmering snails, pork bones, and several spices for many hours, resulting in a spicy broth that is served with rice noodles, fermented bamboo, dried bean curd, peanuts, and vegetables. Okay, so what is it that really makes this dish?
I think it's the special smell comes from two things. One is the river snail
Yeah.
soup, and the other thing is a bamboo. We call it a 臭笋, which if you translate word to word is stinky bamboo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the strange thing. It smells bad, but it tastes really good. But you
Right.
really have to try to understand.
Yeah, that's what everyone says. Yeah. Okay, so I'll read a bit more. I want people or listeners to understand how these kind of food things go in China, and that is that when a new food comes out or a new tea place or something, it can just become so hot. It can just totally take off, and everybody starts talking about it, and you can't really avoid it because everybody is telling you. Your friends are telling you, your wife or husband or your coworkers are all telling that you got to try this thing, and then you just got to try it, and everybody kind of goes crazy about it. It becomes this really huge fad, and I've seen that happen in Canada too, but not to the degree that it happens in China. Like I don't see the crazy lineups in Canada. I do see that in China.
Mm-hmm.
The article says, in May, Liuzhou Vocational and Technical College became China's first college to offer a specialized course in how to prepare and market the signature dish. The college plans to enroll and train 500 students, with hopes that these soon-to-be luosafen masters will help further raise the visibility of the food. Okay, cool. So that college in Liuzhou is going to train a lot of masters at luosafen.
So they're gonna make a stand of luosafen.
And even the Liuzhou government has thrown its support behind this food, offering subsidies for any manufacturer that can achieve 50 million yuan, that's about 7.4 million US dollars, of sales of luosafen in a year. So this is cool. It's like not only has it taken off in that area, in that city, but the college gets behind it, the government gets behind it, and as we talked about in an earlier podcast, we talked about Li Ziqi, the super KOL that really helped to promote this luosafen and get it to take off. Everybody needs it. Everybody needs to try it. I think that foreigners that follow our newsletter or podcast, they should try it too. You can look it up anywhere. You can look it up on Amazon. Like I'm in Canada now, and my wife just picked it up from the store, and it's Li Ziqi brand too.
Yeah, she's really popular now.
Yeah. Okay. So those are all our items for today. It took us about half an hour. I think that's pretty good. Nice to have Echo on here this week with us.
Thank you, Tait. It's
Cool.
very nice talking with you.
Okay. See you later, Echo. And see you
Okay,
later,
see you.
any listeners.
Bye.
If you're listening on YouTube, give us a subscribe, give us a like, or subscribe wherever you are listening. See you later.